A lot of correction in a little amount of time.
Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick.
And this is DIY Detail. Today we have this car from our friends at the Baxter Auto Group here in Omaha, Nebraska. And they said, can you help us with this one? We're here to help.
We're here to help, and we're gonna do this quickly. We're gonna get amazing results. Ivan, at the beginning, before we even started recording, I was like, what is the messaging on this? How do we market like what we're gonna do in this video so it like serves the viewer?
Right. If you're detailing for a dealership, you're a professional detailer, you need to get results quick, you need to get good results, and you need durable results. And that's what we're gonna be doing here. Now, if you're a home hobbyist, you can do this as well. This vehicle, let's just say it's a good 10-foot vehicle, maybe 6 or 7. You get this far away and all you see is scratches. We're going to round over the scratches, we're not gonna remove them, but we're gonna make it glossy, we're gonna make it slick, and we're not gonna have anything that attracts the person's eye.
Let's wash and talk, shall we?
Yeah, off we go. So, rinseless wash, I'm gonna be putting it in my bucket. Now this car just came from the dealership. They've cleaned it, they've washed it. Is it up to our standards? No. And it sat on their lot for a few days. So we'll give it a quick rinseless, decontamination, and go from there.
How do we dilute this rinseless you speak of, Ivan?
Well, 1 cap per gallon of water is all you need. If you want to be really scientific and precise about it, 256 to 1, 4 milliliters to a liter.
Not everybody has to be a dealership detailer to get value from this video. I think it's important.
Yeah.
We're always gonna be teaching you things along the way about how we efficiently wash, how we efficiently one-step this. So Ivan, you've got something in your hand I've never seen before. What is this?
This is a battery-powered garden sprayer. And I have to let it charge up for a second.
Okay, I've never seen this before.
No, this is a new one on the market by our friend at Scott's. Not a sponsored video. We bought this ourselves, but I thought it was a nice alternative to the very expensive electric ones that are available. Once it's charged up, it does a great job of getting rinseless on the surface, which is what we're wanting to do here.
Well, I've often tried to do too much with my sprayer of rinseless. I have the keg at home and I'll try to use it as a pressure washer and an applicator of rinseless. You've told me many times, this first step with rinseless wash is just about getting it on the surface.
Yeah.
Can you talk about that?
Yeah, we're just literally getting it on the surface, getting the car wet. That's all we're needing to do. Letting the rinseless start to break down and emulsify the dirt.
Now, are we using a hose in this wash?
No.
So when do you use a hose, when do you not use a hose in the rinseless wash process?
If you look at the car and go, heck, it's already clean, you don't need to use a hose. This one has, at best, a little bit of dust on it. So we don't need to go crazy with the cleaning.
Now, if it does have more than a little bit of dust on it, you may want to do what we call the foam rinse foam or the chemical rinse chemical. In the case of rinseless wash, that's a chemical. You'd do this, you'd rinse it with free flowing water, whether it's a pressure washer or a garden hose, then you'd reapply it, and then you'd follow the steps that we're doing here. So contact wash comes after the chemical. We do the chemical after the rinse, Ivan, even if we're using a hose. But we're not using a hose. So chemical contact wash. How do you want to handle wheels?
I just sprayed rinseless on them, we'll give it a quick brush and we're good to go.
Okay.
So we have our buckets, we have our rinseless wash, we have our legacy sponge. You know the drill, you've been here before, and if you haven't been here before, thanks for joining us, and please subscribe to the channel.
This could be someone's first time.
Yeah.
They might be a fan of Mustangs. They might want to polish their paint for the first time. They have no idea what the heck is happening. There's this guy with the curled mustache using a sponge to wash a car. Like, what's happening here?
Right, so what we're doing is we're using the rinseless wash as lubrication, and it emulsifies, it breaks down the dirt. It does everything you need it to do. And you're going, but where are the suds? Where's the foam? Don't worry about it. You don't need it.
What about the whole idea of, and I think I just do it now, one side with the black on the same panel, and then you do the red on the same panel, just to be safe when you don't have a hose. Is that overthinking it?
In this case, yes, but if you're looking at the car and going, yeah, it's just a little dirtier than I thought, then definitely doing that is a great strategy.
What's the benefit of doing black and red, flipping on the same panel?
Like you said, it's absorbing the dirt. The sponge, when we take it out of the bucket, is not soaking wet. We leave it on the verge of dripping. And it's actually absorbing or bringing off the dirt from the surface. This was the last year of this body style of Mustang, and also the 40th anniversary. So if you're not a fan of Mustangs, that means it's a 2004. So at this point, it's a 21-year-old car, because we're filming this in 2025. It's got around 70,000 miles on it, so it's not been abused, but it has been used.
What are your recommendations for washing a soft top?
Well, in this case, this is a vinyl top. It's not a fabric or a cloth, so it's actually quite easy to clean. You just run the sponge over it and dry it.
I'm just not used to that. Do you want to flood the panel like we do with the soft top, or is it less overthinking, just more wiping?
Just, since it's vinyl and not cloth, we just want to wipe.
Okay. There's some nasty damage on here. I don't know if that's through the, or if that's tar.
Yeah,
through the paint.
There's paint transfer, there's dents on the back fender.
This is kind of a good example as a professional, Ivan. There were times when, you know, the customer's like, hey, I washed it for you before they come in for a coating job.
Yeah.
And you may be in that position where, okay, now I need to rewash it myself, but real quick, and then do a quick decon and then get to work.
Yeah, exactly.
I can actually tell where I've wiped and where I haven't. So check this out, it's the beauty of Rinseless Wash. You see these like wiping lines? That's where I've actually used my sponge. Whereas here, you see some water beads. It's not like it's tight water beads from a ceramic coating, but this I've wiped, this I haven't. So if you get distracted like I do sometimes, you can actually look at the panel and be like, oh, I've done this, I haven't done that. Boom, and then go ahead and wash. So you'd think just suds, just soap is gonna be really easy for me to see where I've been, Ivan. But in fact, Rinseless, I think it's almost easier to tell where you've been.
It is. Now these wheels were cleaned by the dealership. They're nice and clean, but this 5-spoke bullet design is one of my all-time favorite wheels. So I'm gonna clean them anyways.
These wheels are pretty cool. It's a reminder that there's always more steps we could take, Ivan. There's always things that we could do, right? We could use iron remover. We could, you know, we could foam rinse foam. We could water spot remove. I mean, there's different steps that you could always take. Why are we just taking, you know, these limited ones here?
Well, we have to get this car back to the dealer. They're kind enough to loan it to us, but there's a lot of people that are interested in this car and they want it back. So we're taking, not a shortcut, but we're eliminating some steps that are great peace of mind that you should be doing, but there are times when you just can't. And this is one of them. And speaking of seeing what's been gone over with the Rinseless Wash, this front bumper hasn't been done. So let me get it done for Nick here.
Oh, I missed a spot, didn't I?
A little bit, yeah. The whole front bumper.
Can you just polish it? Why do you need to clean it? Why would you need to clean before polishing? Let's do a beginner question there.
If there's grit on the surface, it's going to impact the polishing. It's going to get your pads dirtier. It's going to do all sorts of things. And you've seen the guy on the internet taking a car in a scrapyard that's still all dusty and maybe putting even a bit of sand on his pad and starting to polish and it looks good at the end. Not if you get the camera up close. And Nick, you'll need this.
What is this, Ivan?
That's our quad fold.
Ivan, people are loving the quad fold decon towel.
Yeah, it's just a very nice way. We have Rinseless on the surface. And this car is contaminated. We can hear it, we can feel it.
Tell me what this towel is all about. Folks may have used a towel before, they may not have, they may have heard of the quad fold, they may not have used it. Like,
yeah,
give me the 101 here.
So quad fold decontamination towel is, as the name suggests, it's a perforated synthetic decontamination towel, but with 4 sides, making it easy to fold however you want to fold it. And the reason we did this was A, to make it easier to fold, but B, we saw people using this or our previous towel flat like this. That is not a good idea. You need to mitigate pressure points. By folding it, you release or get rid of a lot of those pressure points.
And rinseless wash as lubrication, that's a big deal.
Yes, it is. So rinseless wash is extremely lubricating. It does what it's designed to do, and that is to maintain a nice, safe surface. Now, if we come up here, at some point in its life, it's been waxed. And we can see all this wax residue built up on this rubber seal all the way along. We'll take a brush to get rid of that. We have our wheel and body brush, and we'll just work it in along that wax residue, and you've got some on your side too, Nick.
Okay.
There we go, it's gone. With the decontamination towel, you want to pick a side, do a panel, then fold it to another side. Once you've gone through all 4 sides, from there, dunk it back in your wash bucket. In your wash bucket, you'll have either a rinseless wash or incredible suds. Both do the job for you.
Let's talk about the temptation to use pressure, because pressure is going to get results. That's the mind that I feel like I was trained to have.
Yep.
But it's not right.
No.
And so I want to address that. That's probably what a lot of people think. Can you answer that question for me? Why do I want to use pressure? Why is it bad?
Right, so you want to use pressure because as a human being, if I put a little more pressure, it's going to work better. As an engineer, the less pressure you use, the better it is. Now, why we want to use the least amount of pressure is very simple. We want the perforated synthetic material to do its job, and that's how it's designed to work. So if you're using pressure, it's hard on you, it's hard on the towel, it's hard on the paint. Just abstain from using pressure. Now, one thing that freaks people out, or they question with the perforated synthetic decontamination towel, is where is it going? The surface was clean before we started, and the contamination is so small we don't see it. And if you look closely at the towel, you still don't see it. But the perforated material is very soft. It takes that in, and when you dunk it in your bucket, it releases it. That's how it's designed to work. It works very well doing that. So a little more wax residue on my side here, Nick. Actually, a lot of wax residue. Someone was very joyous with their wax application. Along here, we'll take our brush with the rinseless wash. Now, not all wax residue is this easy to remove, but in this case, we're lucky they used a wax that, let's just say, isn't very step. And yes, decontamination can be that quick. You don't always need to use the iron remover. You don't always need to use the water spot remover. Is it best practice? Of course, but we're on a time crunch, but we don't want to polish without decontaminating.
Yeah, I think it's good to showcase different methods like this.
Yeah.
I was a little skeptical at first when you mentioned what we were going to do and what we weren't going to do, but it's like, no, there's times when, whether you're an enthusiast or a professional, it's nice to know how to do it a little differently.
Yeah, and not everyone has iron remover. Not everyone has water spot remover, but they might want to decontaminate and polish their vehicle. As long as you have a clay towel or even a clay bar, you can polish it and go from there.
Ivan, this paint is
bad.
Horrible condition, man.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
No. And unfortunately, it has been polished before. We measured it before, and it's very thin. So we're not gonna risk going for a full-on paint correction and get absolutely everything out of it, because when you're polishing, despite what people think, you're never removing a scratch. You're removing the paint down to the level of the scratch.
So this is just a bath towel, right? We recommend bath towels for car paint.
Never. No, this is our premium, actually one of my favorite towels too.
I love this towel.
Yeah, this is our drying blanket. And it's a micro twist microfiber.
What does that mean?
So a normal twist microfiber, you can actually see the long fibers. This is very, very compact. People have called this, interestingly enough, elephant skin.
Really?
Yeah, I've seen a few people refer to it as an elephant skin towel.
Okay.
So it's just an interesting way of looking at it.
Huh. I mean, this, from the minute we introduced it, has been a absolute fan favorite, Ivan.
It has, with reason, it's just a really good quality towel. It's long lasting, it's durable, it does what it's supposed to do, it dries exceptionally well. It's not overly heavy.
And it's safe.
Yeah, and very absorbent.
What makes it safe on paint versus like a bath towel? Like, why would you want to use this versus, I was joking about the bath towel, but
Yeah.
why wouldn't you want to use one?
Well, the terry weave, which is what a towel is, cotton, and there's terry weave microfibers as well, but the terry weave cotton, it's a little stiff on your paint. Now, back in the 70s when I started, sure, yeah, we used bath towels because that's what we had. Microfiber wasn't a thing. And then we got technologically advanced. We started using cotton diapers. But then the microfiber came along, late 90s or so, and it's just been evolving ever since, getting better and better. And we're actually on the second version of this towel.
I love the drying blanket.
Yeah.
Version 2 as well. I loved them all.
And with that, Nick, we're ready to polish.
And if we have a little extra Rinseless wash left over coming out of nooks and crannies, the beauty of our polishing system is we polish with Rinseless wash on our pad.
Right.
So you're gonna see why this works if you're new to the channel, but it's all part of our efficiency system. So we're ready to polish. We're not worried about a little bit of drip coming out of the mirror or the headlight. Yes, you can blow that out with a blower or an air compressor, but you don't absolutely have to. And we're gonna polish and you'll kind of see how we deal with it as we go.
When we come to Omaha, we get together for 10 days and we film around 6 videos a day. So we batch film. This is our first day back in the studio from our 3-month or 4-month since the last time that we were here. I use a bottle of Rinseless wash with the pad washer. And to get the right dilution, just put it in your wash bucket. And now I'm ready to clean a pad.
So I haven't mentioned we're just getting back in Omaha, so I'm just making sure that my detail cart is properly, efficiently organized. Because one thing I've realized going solo a little bit, doing some videos lately, you know, as a mobile detailer, just kind of for fun, is like, organization is so important.
It is.
I mean, it's like, it's not even the small, it's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Can you talk about like how important it is to get ready, be efficient, like have everything where it needs to be? It will save you so much time.
Definitely, you're gonna save a lot of time just by spending a minute or two in terms of organization. And that organization is making sure you have your towels ready, making sure you have your pads ready, your extension cord if you're using that, your batteries are charged, having everything in place. And we use our carts, they're on wheels. We bring the cart close to where we're working and move it as we're moving. So very important to do that. The better you're organized, the more fun you're gonna have detailing. We polished the first section. I just wanted to do the top of this fender just to show you the difference we're getting in very, very short time. So that's what we're looking at with the hood. You can see all the scratches and swirls and all that. We keep going down, then when we get to the fender, we have a nice clear surface. Now, is it rid of all scratches and swirls? No. We've reduced it dramatically, and in reducing it dramatically, we have a much better result.
Ivan, the difference is stark, even without the ceramic gloss.
Yeah.
Maybe you can see it over here, Sylvie. Ivan, I did not use any ceramic gloss,
Yeah.
which is, I know, your secret sauce to finish off the detail. But I don't know if we can tell. From here on out, we didn't polish. This is where we haven't polished yet. And this is a one step with gold standard polish. Look
And
at
a
that
wool
gloss. Yeah, and a wool pad.
So we're getting the maximum amount of cut with the minimum amount of time.
Look at that. Look at the difference. I don't think the average enthusiast or DIYer understands you can one step with a wool pad.
Right. Generally, you can't. When we re-engineered our wool pad, that was one of the criteria we wanted. We wanted a better finish. We got more cut and a better finish at the same time. With the 25mm stroke machine, you're getting the maximum amount of cut you could possibly get, but at the same time, getting a beautiful finish.
Okay, Ivan, now it's time to talk about how to polish around edges.
Yeah.
And how to polish up into this grill, you know, whatever this is, this vent here. Like, I'm kind of wanting to get up into this area because I'm seeing some like wax residue,
Yeah.
and I'm kind of want to tilt, but you're not a big tilt fan. Talk about how to get in there.
The pad, the way it's designed, keep it flat. It's gonna get in there just as much as you tilt with less chance of damage.
Ivan, I know it's time to clean my wool pad
Yep.
when I'm not getting those perfect half circles. So I don't know if you can see this, but like right over here, my polishing lines were really good. But then as I'm getting to the end, I was working this section, then I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go over to this part of the hood. Look at how clumpy that is. I don't know if you can see that. All the little clumpy dots, and it's not just there, it's all the way through here. Clump, 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 clump. So instead of kind of this half circle look, I'm getting clumpy. That's a great indicator, again, when you see those little dots, that it's just time to clean your pad. It's not that something's going wrong, Ivan.
No.
It's that, hey, we have a system.
Right, and
It works together. It will tell you things if you pay attention, right?
Right, and the wool pad is a pad that cuts a lot. And the reason it seems to be drying out, what looks like drying out, is actually the clear coat that's been removed is forming that clumpiness. That's what's happening. That's why the more you cut, the more you need to clean your pad.
When you're done cleaning your pad, you want to do a firm trigger pull with the gold standard polish. If folks are like, hey, I'm not getting the polish to come out as you guys do in the video, I always tell them like you're angry at the trigger,
Yeah.
to pull on it. Do you have any other advice for people who are like, I don't think it's working?
Yeah, the trigger owes you money.
Oh, that's how you treat it.
Yeah.
You like to polish and wipe as you go. I always like to leave it on the surface because then I don't have to be like, did I get this done? Did I not? It will tell me what I've polished.
Yeah, there's no wrong way of doing it. I'm a little more methodical than Nick. It's just in my nature. But at the same time, we want to make sure we're getting everywhere. If that's what Nick needs to do to make sure that he's getting everywhere, great. Like, he thinks he's finished the hood, but he actually forgot the hood scoop.
What's the hood scoop?
You didn't do your half the hood
Oh, I
scoop.
didn't do my, I haven't done that yet. There you go. Well, I would have got there. I would have figured it out eventually.
Yeah. Back here, we have some very, very odd scratching. It looks like someone put a box. Yeah, okay. Looks like someone put a box on the surface. So when we do have the odd thing that we want to just go after a little bit more, we'll do a 5-5-5, which means speed 5, roughly 5 pounds of pressure, and roughly about 5 seconds over this area. That will deeply polish, round over those areas, and make it so that we don't see those scratches too much anymore. The reason for only 5 seconds is we don't want to create heat. And we're actually not trying to remove paint, we're trying to round over the edges of those scratches. By rounding them over, we end up with what looks like very corrected paint. Come back in and have a look.
The 5-5-5 strikes again.
5-5-5 is a constant with us. It's been around for a long time and it will continue to be around because it works.
Ivan, you have a cord-free, I have a corded.
Yeah.
I like a corded tool. You've mentioned before, like the enthusiast who doesn't polish a lot, it might actually be better to have a corded tool.
Right.
Because batteries are better if they're actually used, but like, I'm an enthusiast at heart. I'd rather have a cord-free tool. I hate cords, man.
So if you like the idea of the cord-free, by all means, use the cord-free. For me, I actually like the corded as well. We have a slight electrical problem. The outlets on this wall don't work. So I'm almost in a sense stuck. Not stuck, I really like the tool. I designed it myself. But that being said, between the choice of a corded or a cord-free, to me, there's really no difference.
I actually love this tool. I just got spoiled without a cord.
Yeah.
And like once you go cord-free, it's hard to go back.
Yeah.
But if you're just fine with a cord, it's a great tool.
Right.
I polish on speed 3. Sometimes I polish on speed 2. I used to be a speed 5 polisher.
Yeah.
You talk about polishing speed. You design these machines. I'm listening.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
The higher speed you go doesn't mean you're gonna get more correction. You might actually get less correction. I did a small section here with our what we call our 555. And the reason for the 5 seconds, roughly 5 seconds, is we don't wanna create heat. When you increase that speed, you increase the possibility of creating heat. When you create heat, then you have problems. The paint is a plastic, it softens, and instead of the abrasive cutting, now the abrasive sort of grabs and rolls and doesn't do what it's supposed to do.
Makes sense to me.
Now that all the upper sections are done on my side, time to get on the little LaCroix Cruiser. Yes, it's not available yet. It will be soon. And do the sides. One of the reasons that I break it up like this is to get different muscle groups working at different times. Very important when you get to my age. This front bumper has some deep scratches and some paint transfer on it, and it's been repainted already. So previous owner may have had an issue with parking too close to things. But I've got fresh polish on a freshly clean pad, and I'm gonna do the 555 method to get off this paint transfer and round over that scratch. This one I can feel with my fingernail with the glove on. So this one might be a little too deep. Let's bring it up to speed 5. Then we bring it back down to speed 2 and blend it all in. At some point in its life, this headlight has had a clear coat sprayed on it, and that clear coat is starting to craze. There's nothing we can do today with this, but ideally you would need to scrape that coating off or the clear coat off, sand it, polish it, and then put a coating on it or paint protection film.
I mean, we're over 20 years. It's funny because there's a 40-year sticker on here marking big anniversaries.
Yeah.
This is old paint. I mean, things are gonna happen in the span of 2 decades.
Yeah, definitely.
doesn't mean we can't make this look awesome and just let the stuff be what it is.
Yeah. Someone was very proud of this 40th anniversary badge because there's a lot of wax around it. There we have it. That deep scratch, yes, it's still there, but you need to get really up close and personal to find it. On the roof, we're actually gonna add a bit of ceramic gloss. It's a vinyl roof, so it's plastic. Bit of ceramic gloss, just liven it up a little bit.
I gotta tell you, Ivan, I really love leaving the polish residue on till the end.
Yeah.
I actually wasn't really that far behind you. You did a couple 5.55s, and you would have been faster if it was a race or whatever, but it doesn't take that much longer.
No.
For me, at least, you know, to like make sure I've touched everything with a polisher.
Yeah.
And then rinseless wash, damp and towel, and then ceramic gloss. Just that seems to work for me.
Yeah, and
that
that's
might be
fine.
better for the beginner if you just don't have your process totally down.
The gold standard polish, you can leave it on the car for hours in the sun. It's not a problem. So not a real concern about leaving it there. It's just, that's my personal preference and that's Nick's personal preference. And in detailing, there's a lot of great ways of doing it. There's no one right way of doing something.
Now we typically teach to polish trim, but with the wool pad on a 20-year-old vehicle, the approach was more, let's be a little cautious around some of this oxidized plastic,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
You could hit it with maybe the yellow pad, or would you just kind of be a little more careful with old plastic?
The red pad in this case.
The red pad, okay.
Yeah. And we can't show this on camera. There's no way of really capturing it, but this trim has had some trim restoration product on it at some point. So polishing it would just get us into a nasty mess.
And that's just a piece of insight that comes from a lot of experience.
Yeah.
You can just tell.
We have some wax residue that's encrusted in the back of the scoop. So I've got a brush here, a bit of ceramic gloss. And Nick, I think you have some on your side.
Yeah, let me borrow just the brush from you. I've got ceramic gloss. You can see that white streak right there. So I believe Ivan just choked down on the bristles a little bit. And ever so gently. Yeah, this is real. Sometimes it feels like when you see a car that's been waxed, it doesn't want to come out. This looks like it was just.
It wasn't
possibly
done long ago.
Yeah, well, we won't say who did it or who didn't do it. That's not our job as a detailer. Our job is to be a steward of the vehicle that appears in our stead. Stead sounds like a horse term. Mustang.
Yeah.
I'm feeling ready for the owner to gallop this vehicle away to its stable.
Well, while we're in cheesy metaphors here, you know, it's time for it to gallop into the new owner's heart.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Go. Yeah.
I love that. And speaking of galloping, this is probably a time for our viewers to gallop onto a new educational experience.
Right, and that educational experience will be found right here.